Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Batman Return of the Joker for the Nintendo Game Boy, brought to us by Sunsoft. Return of the Joker on Game Boy is very different from its NES and other console counterparts. The game is broken up into 4 levels. The first 3 you can select which ones you want to do and do them in any order, though there's no benefit really to playing them in any specific order. For this run of the game, I'll be playing on the hard difficulty setting. And I'll be starting with level 1, the sewer. Batman controls pretty well in this title. You're able to jump, bounce off of walls, and you have a grappling hook that you're able to throw out in a diagonal direction. It's actually really fun to use, and you can traverse certain areas a lot quicker using the grappling hook. The thing is, though, at times it can be difficult to hit where you want to. You may end up missing and potentially could fall down into a large pit or end up missing a jump and having to do things over again because you mistimed the grappling hook. There's not a whole lot of times where you're forced to use it, though. It's more of experimenting with it throughout the course of levels for where you find it most useful. During this section, we have to wait for the water to go back down. I'm a little impatient, plus it's kind of fun to use the water as a wall, and you can wall jump off of it. Down here is another thing of health, so we can replenish our health. You can also find 1-up containers that give you a little bit more health, like another health bar. The thing is, they're a little bit hard to get a hold of, and there are only a few of them in the game. I will be grabbing one in level 4, though. Work your way across to the right, watch out for a few enemies. You can use the ceiling above to swing across or just jump across the platforms, whatever you prefer. The only thing really Batman gets to help him out, other than health and such, is batarangs that he can throw out that some enemies can get hit by, but other ones will just throw away and dodge out of the way of. And that goes for the boss encounters as well. Thankfully, the bosses in the game, there's a few easy ways to kind of gang up on them in order to complete them, because they're pretty tough fights overall. And speaking of which, here is our first one against Darklaw. We're going to stay on the left side and start attacking Darklaw as he jumps across the screen, knocking him across to the lower right corner. Then we're going to chase him down into that corner, hitting him a few times, and then stay a little bit away from the wall, but keep punching. You may have to step forward a little bit. You see Batman gets pushed a bit. But if you do this correctly, you can get him stuck there and just keep hitting him until he's done, and we're moving on to the next level. Next up is the machine shop. We're going to immediately drop down into this pipe and it'll send us flying down here. One thing with enemies in the game is they don't hurt you if they just run into you. They only hurt you if they attack. That's when the actual animation and frames count that it actually hit you. And that goes for the enemies as well as the boss encounters. They don't actually damage you until they attack. Doesn't help you against the final boss though, because Joker will always be attacking anytime you attack. He just automatically gets a move off at the same time. Be careful dropping down here that you don't stay there too long and end up falling into the pit. Jump on top of this tank and get to the left or right side and then do jump attacks. If you're a little bit away from the main guy, you won't get hurt by the grenades. They'll just end up bypassing you and going over you. Once that tank is taken care of, that's like the mid-boss here, we're going to climb on up and continue on in the level. Drop on down here, grab the health, and then wait for the blocks to start piling up and use them to bounce your way up the wall. Head over to the right. This jump in particular is exceptionally annoying. Trying to get the jumps to just go through and actually get up. I died so many times at that spot. Thankfully though, that is the end of the level, and we take on the Shogun Warrior next. We're gonna go to the left side with Shogun, punching him a little bit just to get him once again into the corner, and because of the ceiling right here, he's not really able to go anywhere, and we just keep punching really quickly and take the boss down in just a few seconds. Stage number 3 is the train. For a lot of these big guys, we're just going to jump over them and avoid them altogether. This is a pretty straightforward level, just heading over to the right side for 2 screens before we'll face off against a boss. Nothing to swing onto though, unfortunately, so a little bit dull in comparison to some of the other areas that we get to do. Cool background though, the moon and all in the background. Don't worry too much about these guys and your health, just get through the area because there is a full health replenishment at the end before you face off against the boss battle. Climb on up and over, and get ready to face the boss, Foul Ball. Foul Ball, we're going to get close, duck underneath the baseballs, the first couple, and then when they start spinning, do your attacks, and then just keep following up your attacks every time they land. It's actually, I think, the easiest of all the bosses to gang up on and be able to get like that punch combo going. With them taken care of, though, we are moving on to the 4th level of the game, the Limestone Caverns, the final level. As we begin, we're going to swing over here to the right side just to avoid that whole mess that's falling down. Jump up here, take out the rock, you'll get a little heart to replenish some of your health if you've lost any. Thankfully, there's a few health drops throughout the course of the area. Over here, take this little platform and ride it across to the right side. Deal with the enemy, and then climb your way up to the top. Head over here to the right and to the next screen. On the next screen, just start breaking the rocks. An enemy does come down here, just deal with them however you need to, and then go back to breaking the rocks. Once out of the area here, on the second platform, drop down with it and hold right so that you go inside the wall. Here you'll find some batarangs as well as a extra piece of health. I'm going to climb up here at the end. We're almost to the Joker battle. Just run underneath these, and it's time to face off against the Clown Prince of Crime. This is an exceptionally difficult fight. One of the toughest boss fights just because you can't hit him. Well, anywhere above his feet, basically. Every time you go for an attack, no matter what you do, he swings at the exact same time. It's not he does almost the same time, it's the exact same frame that you hit him. So he's going to end up damaging you every single time. However, you can hit him in the feet when he jumps, and that will end up saving your health during the course of this fight. Now, you can get him stuck in the corner and gang up on him like you've done with the other fighters, but at the same time, it's difficult to do against the Joker. Joker also has 2 parts to the fight. You'll know you're halfway done at least when that first part is done. Every time you land a hit, he does that spin and then throws one of those boxing gloves to be ready to jump over it. Once he drops, it's time for the second part of the fight. He does add another move into his arsenal, jumping around and such. Once again, we're going to still just attack the feet in order to actually land our attacks. The magnet above is sometimes helpful, other times it gets in the way when you're trying to hit him. Here I'm able to get Joker to the corner and finish him off. As you mash the button here, you want to back up a little bit. Doing so should hopefully get him stuck still in the loop of being punched, and you should be able to take him down and then enjoy the ending, the Batman Return of the Joker. So there you have it, Batman Return of the Joker for the Nintendo Game Boy. Not necessarily the greatest Batman game by any means, but still a relatively enjoyable one outside of the Joker boss battle. If it wasn't for that fight, this one would be one I could recommend checking out if you've never done so. The first Batman game on the Game Boy is a bit different as well, with this really small chibi Batman. It's actually a favorite game of mine. As the credits finish up, we then get presented by Sunsoft, and with that, it'll wrap up this episode of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.